New Jersey coffee is streaming right now. Words. New Jersey coffee junk is streaming right now.
Good morning, everyone. NJ Coffee Junkie here, coming to you from the great state of New Jersey. Good morning, Kindless. Good morning, Vid. How are you all doing? It is Sunday. You know what that means. It's Sagrada Sunday, and I am so happy to be able to play with my friends. Joe and Rex are going to be joining me in just a second, but I just want to check in with all of you and say hello and good morning. It is so good to see you. Good morning, Dardrian. And Goth Goddess, thank you. 23, Goth Goddess 23. Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. I'm just going to kick right off and get a hold of my friends and get them on the phone, and then we are going to go from there. So there we go. And I'm going to ring. Good morning. Good morning. Hello? Rex? Hello, are you there?
No.
I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry. I gotta replace this headset. It's just it's lived a good life, and it's time for it to go upstate to the farm. Play with horses.
That is a-okay. I assume that Joe stepped away for a second. He'll probably pop in. There he is.
Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Are we live?
We are. We are.
Well, greetings, everyone.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Good. I just got my coffee. I'm ready to play some Sagrada.
Yes.
You know, at PAX, they had a few expansion packs.
They did.
But I don't seem to see them in the online version, sadly.
Yeah, not yet. Did you happen to catch the pins that they had?
No, I saw the masks, though, and they didn't have any for sale. I was disappointed about that.
So was I. I might reach out to my contact over there and ask them how I could get one.
I think they have them in their online store. I think the lady said that to me. Okay. So you might be able to just straight up buy them. Or tell Vin it would make a great New Year's present. Because I don't know if you're as hard to buy for as I am, but I am terrible to buy gifts for. So sometimes when I see stuff like that, I'm like, look, it's a $6 mask. Please just go buy this for me as a gift so we don't have to stress out about it later. I don't care that what I get you won't be $6, but I don't know. I'm trying to help.
No, it's totally fair. I'm actually relatively easy to shop for. Manatee is not. He's not easy to shop for. He has a list and he prefers the list, but I try to look for things that are outside of it, because a lot of times it's, oh, well, somebody bought this for him, or his relatives are looking for stuff. So it's like, okay, you all go to his list, and I'll figure it out from there. So he's not watching right now. I know he's not. So I can say this outright. I got so far for him a little, I think it's a squirrel that says, "I love you," because I'm cheesy like that. And I got him a t-shirt with Falcon as Captain America. So he and our other friend could match, because we got him the same shirt for Christmas.
Is this one of those geek mashup things where it's like Falco from Star Fox as Captain America, or is it like...
No, Falcon.
Oh, from Marvel.
Okay. Yeah, as in from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Gotcha, I haven't seen it.
Ah, you should, it's good.
I just have so little time, and I really, yeah.
I know. Oh, I don't want local. What am I doing? Yes, I placed in the top 100. Yay. Go figure. I'm going to start a game for us, because I know that you probably have not so much time, and I'm time locked until about 2, and then I have to hop over to the MineBoggled premiere. We're starting our first season today.
Could you tell us, for those of us who don't know what MineBoggled is that a video game? Is that a collective? What is it?
It is a new Minecraft server that was created by members of Impulse SV's community. We decided to branch out and do our own thing. And so that's what we call it. We call it MineBoggled. And I haven't seen the seed yet. I didn't take part in picking it or anything like that. Hi, Cam. Thanks for the redemption. Appreciate you. I'm going to do squats in a minute. Great. But yeah, so we're really excited about it. We have a lot of great content creators like Borgo and Bearded Teacher, a real bearded Teacher, actually. I think that's what he calls himself. Little Red Panda. I think Gabby's in there. So there's a whole bunch of people who are involved. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. And yesterday we had the Shamblecraft premiere for season 2, and I was only able to play for an hour because I had other stuff going on. And,
well, I mean, I'm going to be honest, NJ. When all 35 people were on there at the beginning, there wasn't much playing getting done. Blocks were getting placed and replaced and replaced. Like, it's you really only just had to be there to wave at everyone and say hello, because otherwise the server would whip out a ruler and slap your wrist and say, please do not do that. Please do not place that block. Please do not mine that block. NJ, you got to pick a board.
I did pick a board. I'm good.
Okay, I heard the gong.
Yeah, I know. It yelled at me. It's fine. Okay, so this is Sagrada, and I'm going to explain everything in just a minute, because we're kind of, the time locking thing is a bit of a pain. So I'll walk you through everything when we get to the main board. So let me do just that. Okay. Public objectives aren't too bad. Row color variety is going to be fun, but in any event, yeah, let's get to the board so I can make my choice, and then I'll walk everyone through how the game plays. And good morning, Cam. Yeah, I see you, you smart Alec. I'll do those squats in a second. I gotta take my turn. But basically, welcome to Sagrada. This is a game that is available for 1 to up to 6 players if you have the hard copy expansion. And it's inspired by a real basilica in Spain called the Sagrada Familia, which is well known for its stained glass windows. And so what you're trying to do on this 5x4 grid is essentially create your own stained glass window using these dice. It's a hard copy game you can get through Floodgate Games or on Switch, PC, and mobile via Direwolf Digital. The way the game works is that... I'm going to make it stop yelling at me now. The way the game works is that everyone goes around the table choosing dice to place on their board. You get to choose 2 dice per round. The turn order is up here at the top, and it goes in a snake-like pattern, so it's 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, so that the first person doesn't have a significant advantage, but the last person doesn't have a significant disadvantage. It's very balanced that way. Underneath that, you'll see that there is a 1 through 10. That is the round track. Any unused dice throughout the game at the end of each round are placed upon here, and then the game continues. These right here, on the top left, these 5 pips are known as favor tokens. They not only measure the difficulty of the board each of us have chosen, but also help pay for the tools that are underneath the dice on the screen. These tools either focus on die manipulation, board manipulation, or turn manipulation. And the 3 tools that we have to work with are tap wheel, move up to 2 dice of the same color that match the color of a die on the round track up above, but you must obey all placement restrictions. I'll get into that in just a second. Next up, we have Lathkin, where we're going to move exactly 2 dice, obeying all placement restrictions. And I'm going to move this 5 so the gong stops yelling at me. Last but not least, we have Flux Brush. We're going to draft a die, then re-roll it. If it cannot be placed, return it to the draft pool. So we're looking at 2 tools that are focused on board manipulation and 1 on die manipulation. The tools are used, are paid for by the favor tokens that we have. And the cost for each one is on the top. It's 1 favor token for the first use, and then regardless of who uses it a second and every subsequent time, it's 2 favor tokens. We also have objectives that we have to achieve for bonus points at the end of the game. Each of us has a private objective. So, for example, if I look at Rex's board over here, I can't see his private objective, but I can see mine, and my color is that. So that I will be looking for that color to obtain bonus points at the end of the game. In addition, we each have 3 public objectives. These are things that all of us are going to go after for the end, to gain bonus points at the end of the game. So first we have for 6 points per row. So we have a max of 24 points here. Yeah. Quit your belly aching. We have row color variety. So rows with no repeated colors. And there are 5 colors in the game: red, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Next up, for 2 points per pair, we have deep shades. So sets of 5 and 6 anywhere. That'll come in handy later. And for also 2 points per pair, light shades, sets of 1 and 2 anywhere. Last but not least, we have what is known as the draft pool. That is where we'll be choosing the different dice that are available to us each round. And so we'll be looking for those objectives as we play this game. And since I go first, I'm looking at this and I'm trying to figure out how this is going to work. So I'm actually going to place my chosen die up here and say go. And now I'll do those squats for you, Cam. Thank you for the redemption. I appreciate it. I need to move more, so that's really appreciated. My back's been so bad. Last night I was basically hobbling around because I moved the wrong way. And it didn't like it very much. Alright, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thanks, Cam. Now I think you're just trolling me, and I appreciate it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna have to add yoga poses to my redemptions. Yeah, actually, I'm waiting for an email back from the person who did a panel I went to at PAX called Wellness for Geeks Who Sit. And it went over a lot of different poses and positions that people could do while they're sitting in a chair. And I loved it. It was actually really, like, my heart was racing when I left because it really got you active and engaged. And I'm waiting for the PDF from that. And so when I get it, I'll be adding those redemptions in. Because one of my goals for 2022 is to move more. And I see your other redemption. You're just making me move, and I appreciate it. So I have to do Wave 'em like you just don't care and dance break. So one thing at a time. All right, so I'm going to do the wave 'em first. So what else were you able to see while you were at PAX, Joe?
Shockingly little. I walked to the Sagrada booth. Basically, I had 40 minutes to see the entire expo hall in the the last hour of Sunday afternoon, and so most stuff was already sold out.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to get the Child's Play masks I wanted to get for my daughter. I ended up, well, you know what? I can't say what I got her because she's watching this downstairs.
Hi, friend.
Yeah, so the entire story was me looking for stuff for her, but she's down. She's listening to the show, so I can't say.
It was, as I mentioned before, it was so nice to finally meet her. I'm glad we had that opportunity. She's delightful.
Yeah, I mean, most of the convention was actually just us hanging out with people outside the con, and but if you're asking what did I see at PAX, not much.
Well, you saw all of us, but I'm glad you were able to hit up the Sagrada booth. Screeching Toad, I see your redemption. I have to go grab a bottle of water at some point because I forgot to bring one in. By the way, did you hear that there is a Sagrada Legacy in the works?
You know, legacy games are really interesting to me in theory,
Mm-hmm.
but anytime my friends or I purchase them, we never have the ability to pursue playing them. And so it's kind of one of those things where I'm a little dubious, I'll admit. Because like I'm sure that it's great for other people, but we get together intermittently at conventions or holidays and stuff here or there. We don't have like, oh, this is our Tuesday night gaming night, so let's play 8 sessions of Clank Legacy in a row, or let's play 8 sessions of Pandemic Legacy in a row. And so my friend has a copy of Pandemic Legacy that's been never opened. I've got a copy of Clank Legacy that's been never opened, and I have a feeling that Sagrada Legacy would have a similar fate.
I crack up at that because we've been trying to finish Pandemic Legacy Season 1 for 3 years. Because it's just these particular 4 people, and we cannot get together to save our lives.
It really feels like legacy games, especially these days, are a better fit for online.
They are.
I feel like if they had launched Clank Legacy as a, like, you get a Steam key for it if you buy the box game or something like that.
Yeah.
We would have played it already.
Yeah.
But nope, I've just got Clank Legacy sitting in my shelf indefinitely. And I thought about trying to set up a webcam and doing remote play or something like that. And there was just no way to do it because you're so many cards to shuffle.
That's why I'm kind of like, morning Mahis. That's why I'm thinking about with Sagrada Legacy that it actually is kind of something that you could do remotely. You just need 2 people. One to be able to show the cards, I guess, like to show what the cards are, and the other hold on, what do I want to do here? I think I'm gonna put that there for now. I think that'll be fine. And one to actually play the game, and one to show the card to the other person who's on screen or whatever. So, I don't know. There's got to be a way to do it. I think it just needs a little investigation.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Like at that point, you want to play something else. Like Rex, to pull you in. Have you seen Jerry tweeting about Babel Royale?
Yes.
Yes.
It's Fortnite and Scrabble, and I'm fascinated.
Have you played it? Because I don't know. It said when I was on the page that the only friend I had who played it was NJ, but maybe you've jumped on it since.
I have not yet. Scrabble was the preferred method of how do I put this? Scrabble was the monopoly for part of my family, if you will. A somewhat combative game.
Yeah.
So I have feelings around it. And I think I need to get over that and give this a shot because it looks intriguing.
It's really fun. I will say it's a little bit buggy still at this stage. But it's a great time. I've really enjoyed it.
I've been playing video games since the days of Pong. Bugs are an old familiar friend to me.
Yeah. Well, like for example, when the game ends, sometimes it doesn't show the game end screen, and sometimes clicking back to lobby doesn't work, and then you have to just close the entire game and reopen it. That sort of thing. You know.
I feel that.
I've blown the dust out of more cartridges than you've had hot meals, kid. It's nothing new.
I like that. Then you've had hot meals. What is that from? Like a cowboy movie, or you just come up with that?
No, the then you've had hot meals is I've killed more men than you've had hot meals, or something like that. It's an old line from movies and books and TV shows.
I've never caught that one before. That's just missed my personal zeitgeist, which might be a mindgeist at that point. I don't know.
Vid is suggesting we try Villainous. And I chuckle at that too because it's on Manatee's Christmas list. And my niece is, oddly enough.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to put on my Christmas list, but it's bound to your account on Steam, is Blabble Royale has an option where you can just say, I want to just pay full price for a video game and get all of the DLC for free forever.
Oh.
And the thing is, I've noticed that games like this, they usually offer that sort of thing when they're starting out, but then as soon as they're like, we're out of beta or out of alpha, that option goes away. Because they're like, oh, we had time to hire a real accountant, and he pointed out how terrible this is. Because some of you will spend $11,000. Now, I won't spend $11,000 on them, but they don't know that. And so, you know, they get rid of those options pretty early in a game's life, I've noticed. And I'm like, ooh, I'm actually early enough to catch this here. And so I was like, oh, this will be a good Christmas gift, but it's locked to your account and you can't, so you have to get it yourself, right? So it's like, hey, do you want to Venmo me $60 for Christmas? Like, that's dumb. I don't know. So I'm back on the fence about it. But my dad asked me, he's like, I don't want to get a Patreon account. Can you buy this thing on Patreon for me? And it's like access to something that requires a Patreon account. And I'm like, no, that is not how that works, Dad. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but like, no.
That's like me trying to figure out if there was any way I could gift Manatee a Cracking the Cryptic Patreon access, and that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, because it was because the thing my dad wanted, it's like, oh, it's an off-site e-learning platform, but you log in via your Patreon credentials, and I'm like, I can't just provide my business Patreon credentials to you, Dad. You need to get your.
Oh dear.
That hard to set up, Pop.
Yeah. Well, you know, on the one hand, like, I mean, I hate signing up for new things too. Like, it's like if there's a way around it, or also because I don't have enough time to enjoy all the things I already have access to. That's kind of one of those ways that I sieve out. Like, okay, I'm not doing this, right? It's like, well, you know, not gonna bother with this because they're asking me to do an extra step, and really, like, that extra step isn't that huge, but I'm already, you know, I've already got more things to do than I have time, so it just helps me cutting the list down, you know.
Yeah,
that is very felt. And I can only assume that you probably have more, well, both of you probably have more Christmas stuff to do.
Kind of.
Yeah, a little.
Like, I still have someone to buy for who doesn't know what they want, and I have no time to go shopping. But I think that I had a few ideas for, like, what my daughter's, like, big present would be, because I like to try and, because, like, most of the stuff she wanted was like, oh, this is like a $4 fidget spinner. And I'm delighted that she enjoys these things that are very cost effective. But, you know, at the same time, it's kind of like, I'm looking at my budget for Christmas and I'm like, well, I'd like to, you know, Christmas isn't one of those times where it's like, I feel like I really need to come out ahead on what I plan to spend, you know? So I'll probably get her, or I'm planning at this point to just get a like season pass to like something that she would enjoy, and I feel like that'll, because, you know, you end up saving money, and then you know, throughout the year we're more likely to go, and so, you know, that works.
That sounds like a great idea. I actually I joked with Manatee yesterday as we were wrapping and organizing everything for the Christmas party we had yesterday, and I was joking with him because apparently he had picked something out for Christmas. He goes, it's here, it's well hidden and all this and that, and oh, that's not a good idea. I should not put that there. You know what? I'm gonna move you. Nope, can't do that. That's a bad idea. What do I want to do? I will put you here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that green 5 on the third row is looking real logical.
No, it is, but it's not. Because I need the green to go here, and I can't put a 5 there. That works. That's what I wanted. Okay. Carry on.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense.
But yeah, he said to me that he's had it, and I went, I thought, you know, the Switch we got a while ago was our Christmas present. He goes, I picked that up, I picked whatever that is for you before that. And I went, oh, jeez. So now I'm trying to figure out what else to pick up for him, and I'm at a loss a little bit. What do I want to do here? Because that can't be it. I think I'll start here. So yeah, we have a few things to pick up for... Because we have, like, all of our siblings and their kids. Like, their siblings, in-laws, kids. Like, all of our friend group's done. So that's good. So it's just shopping for the relatives and no idea what to get half of them. And I'm like, eh? I think we still have to get a few things for our nieces, too.
Gotcha.
My son's at an age where he just wants cash.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do for at least one of our nieces.
Which is fine, but it's like, you know, I would like there to be something under the tree for you other than, you know, a series of envelopes, you know, with the cash divided up in it, which is what I did last year. I designed some envelopes and, like, wrote as if I might have talked about this already. I wrote as if I was a sort of Victorian era father talking to their child about, you know, and, you know, here's a bit of dosh for you, because a young man should always have a bit of cash to spend. And, you know, here's money for this, here's money for that, in 4 different cards. And, you know, it's a neat little exercise to do, but at the same time, it's like, I like watching you open something other than an envelope.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and, like, I'm trying to think of, like, some of the stuff that I got for Christmas when I was that age. One year I got a computer monitor. One year I got a graphics card. One year I got an IDE DVD player, you know, to go in my desktop tower. So, I mean, usually, like, my big gift was some sort of computer-y thing. And that tended to work out reasonably well. For my interests, you know. Oh, wow, this is not a good round for me.
This is painful.
Well, last year I would have gotten him a video card, except, you know, I have not made of money. And he's like, broadly, I want a 3080 card. And I'm like, you play Minecraft, come on. But okay. You're not doing renders with Blender. You're not producing video.
Well, you could set him up with folding at home, so at least scientists are benefiting when he's not using it.
Yeah. He's very... I have joked that were we stuck in a vacuum and I told him to breathe from the oxygen tank, he would hold his breath for spite.
Oh, dear.
Gotcha.
Oh, dear.
He's at that age.
Well, I mean, you can, like... I mean, well, and obviously different parents have different relationships with their kids, but, like, for me, like, this is a sort of the approach I would take with my kid, is I'd be like, this isn't something that you really need, but it could be justified if you're willing to do this. If not, it's not justified, and we'll do something else. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, it's just the ridiculous markups and fundamental unavailability of graphics cards last Christmas. It was like, that's not happening. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the fundamental unavailability is probably what's going to push me to get, like, a Mac Pro with a built-in high-end graphics system rather than purchasing a card, because I don't think I'm going to be able to find a 3080 standalone anyway. And at the point where they're selling it to me in, like, a computer, they're like, here, just buy this full computer that's worse than the one you already have in every other way, because I have high-end CPU, high-end motherboard, everything else fine.
Yeah.
Like, Well, at that point, I don't need that. I don't know. Okay, so this is where I'm in trouble here. Okay. So I think I need Okay. Okay, so I can move the red 1 to the second row and put the red 2 in the third row. I think that's my only real option here. And that shouldn't break anything too badly. Wait, now I want to put the thing down. There we go. Woo!
Oof.
I'm putting a lot of pressure on rounds 9 and 10. I have no completed rows. NJ over there has at least 1. Rex has at least 1. So I'm running a row deficit here.
Yeah, but you might luck out. I'm actually worried about, I'm worried about some of this, not gonna lie. I didn't realize I had so many 1s on the board. Sheesh. That was a good call.
Yeah. Well, last night I got together with I call her my sister, she's my stepsister, and we hung out for about 5 hours and just caught up. And her 2 children are adults now, and they're both in their 20s. And just talking with her, her saying, "Oh, 22, 23, they'll come around, be patient." And I'm like, okay.
I think that's true, though. I mean, that's when my relationship with my parents really improved. Once I kind of got out in the working world, my dad and I had a lot more in common, you know? And, we just got along better. So, I mean, that might sound like a long time, but, it's something to look forward to at least.
Yeah. By the way, Mahis, I just saw your comment because I was focusing on the board. I used to do that to my brother, and it became this escalating game of the most ridiculous ways to wrap things. And I think I might have talked about this before, where I would have multiple layers of wrapping paper, aluminum foil with dental floss, double stick taped to the back of it, so it was a pull tab. And just, yes, indeed, Cameron, it was a rap battle. Just ridiculous amounts of ridiculous amounts of wrapping affixed to whatever gift was being given, so it became a piece of performance art for the person opening it. And then they open a box and it's like, all right, and they open that box and it's like, wait, this is a blank box, there's something inside of it. And since my brother and I were both like very much into art in high school, we would sometimes make our own boxes from other boxes, so you'd think you were at the prize when really it was just another box.
Oh goodness. Yeah, so yesterday we had our Friendsmas with our non-gaming close friends, and one of them decided to be cheeky, and so he gave all the kids and all of us these maze boxes, and he put our gift inside of each box, and we had to sit there and try to figure out how to open it. The kids were able to figure it out relatively quickly. The rest of us, not so much. I think Manatee and I were the only ones to get ours open. It was amazing. I thought it was very clever. Although I think am I in trouble? Am I in trouble here? I almost was, but now I am not. So, okay. Fingers crossed. And yes, I did do the hydration redemption. Thankfully the fridge is right outside the office door, so I just grabbed some water and put it in my coffee cup. Because my coffee is long gone. I woke up this morning at 8. For no reason other than my body's like, it's time to get up. Lots of swearing later. I had my 2 cups and I'm good. I still don't know what exactly we're going to be doing for Christmas. I texted my brother this morning and said, hey, what are your Christmas plans? Because we'd like to go over in the morning and drop off all of our gifts and stuff and get gifts from them and that kind of stuff. So right now we're in the waiting game of, will my brother see my text? Will he respond to it? I don't know.
My please don't be asleep this long alarm just went off.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of caffeine last night to make sure that I could go into the Scrooge thing strong.
And you did all right.
Yeah, I feel like I did okay. You know, it was... Like, I'm realizing, like, as I was reading it, I was like, oh, I should have done this, and I should have done that. Like, I really thought I was going to have, like, a week of just, like, planning a bunch of stuff this... Like, at the beginning of December, I was like, okay, I'm going to plan out a bunch of stuff. And then it's like, nope, got sick. Had no time to do anything.
Yep.
So, yeah, next year will maybe be better. I keep saying.
That's okay. It was still good, though. It was still good. Badger had me cracking up because I could see her, like, just kind of watching you and listening to you. And it was just, it was delightful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I passed out somewhere in between, and Manatee had to keep waking me up to get me off the couch because we fell asleep on the couches on Friday night because we were out late. And when I woke up, I felt okay, and that's when my back was like, nope, you did something wrong.
Good game.
Very good game.
What?
Congrats, Rex.
Thank you. Also,
and Johnny,
what?
thanks for the post. Nicely done, Rex. Oh, that was close. I mean, look at...
Yep. So there was
Wow.
one thing I could have done that would have... If I had done one thing differently, I would have gotten 39, but I couldn't have captured you. I couldn't have caught you.
Wow, that's really good. Nicely done.
Yeah, you had me there.
Oh, goodness. I'm going to set up another one real quick.
I could do another.
Yay. Yeah, it's good to have you join us. It's been a while.
Yeah, sorry, just things have been wild lately, so...
No apology necessary. It's always good when you have the time to come hang out with us.
Oh, you have a very strict contract about playing Sagrada, as you know, and there will be harsh penalties for you for all the games you've missed.
You know, if NJ was paying me an appearance fee and did have me under contract, I would be more likely to show up every week. Like, I'm not trying to hint at anything, but, like, as you're saying that, I'm like, you know, I actually usually don't break contracts. Like...
You don't, but I
I'm
also
gonna drag
really can't
myself out of
afford you.
bed.
I can't afford you.
I know. But, like, I would have actually dragged myself out of bed every week for this. Like, if you make it big, NJ, you're welcome to,
I make it big. We will talk about it. Slowly but surely. I'm trying to get there. Yes, Screeching Toad, you can play this game single player.
Ooh, lens cutter. I like that one.
Yeah, I could have used that last game, not gonna lie. Draft a die, then swap it with a die from the round track. Yes. Flux Remover also would have been nice. Draft a die, then swap it for a new die from the supply. Choose a value, and place the new die, obeying all placement restrictions, or return it to the draft pool. And Lathkin makes a return. Move exactly 2 dice, obeying all placement restrictions. Our public objectives are rose shade variety, so rows with no repeated values, color diagonals, count of diagonally adjacent same color dice, and light shades sets of 1 and 2 anywhere. And yeah, there are a few ways to play single player. There's the daily challenge. There's also the campaign that it has. Excuse me. And those are the 2 big ones. Those are my favorites, to be honest. Okay, I'm kicking things off, and I'm trying to figure out where I want to go and what I want to do. I think I'm going to start here and work my way across that way. No, I'm not going to do that, actually. Because the rows have to be different numerically. Putting a 5 there is a bad idea. So, I think I'll go... Which way do I go? A 1 would be really helpful right now. I did not choose the best board. I will be perfectly honest. So maybe I will do... Oh, good grief. This is ridiculous. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here and I'm going to like it. I'm going to do that.
I love these green 5s. They're perfect for my greens next to my 5s. Like, thanks, everybody. Thanks. Oh, boy.
Yeah, we all have at least 2... We all have 2 5s on our boards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I put this here... Yeah, I can do something no matter what. Yeah, let's do that. That gives me a lot of options. You guys, Rex can make whatever choices he wants to make without worrying about messing my board up. Because I know he's a very conscientious player.
He is a very conscientious player. That's why that's one of the reasons why I like playing with him so much. We try to be courteous.
Well, especially in the late game, there's times when there's dice I need. And I'm conscious of that for the, people I play with, because I don't like people who are like, oh, I see you need that, you need this green 6 for this 1 slot, so fuck you. Excuse my language.
Oh, hey
sorry.
there.
I apologize. So forget you.
It's okay. I don't have the family-friendly thing up right now.
I know, but I tried not to.
Oh, nice. Mahis says, I was out looking for a wolf to tame on Joe's server because I was getting really tired of trying to kill silverfish, discovered an azalea tree, which means lush cave below. So I started digging. I got over 10 stacks of rooted dirt before I broke into the cave, which also had a mine shaft and a geode all in one. That's hitting the lottery. Good grief. Okay, so what can I do here? I think I'm just going to have to go here and keep my fingers crossed for next round. I think that's what's going to have to happen. And yes, Vid says you feel very strongly about that, Rex.
Yes. Well, also, this is a daytime stream, so I can, talk a little louder, unlike when we play Among Us when my roommate is trying to sleep.
Yeah.
So
that makes perfect sense. Yeah, yesterday on the Shamblecraft start, I learned that you can't tame wolves with raw meat. And I was kind of disappointed about that. Because I tried, because it was all I had on me. It's like, nope, doesn't work. I was like, aw.
How do you tame wolves?
Bones.
Ah, okay.
Bones, and only bones.
Yeah, but that's why I'm kind of unaffected and quiet when we play, because I can't be as animated as other people, and that often leads people to think that I'm lying when it's just like, no, I have to talk quietly because I don't want to play this under a blanket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Well, and there was a period where all of my Minecraft recordings were me whispering because I could only record when the baby was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's funny because people are like, I like that you're not shouty like the other YouTubers. It's like, well, if I shout, it's game over, man. Game over. Let's see.
It's Don't Wake Daddy, the streamed game.
Yeah, don't wake baby. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I think sometimes my streams run late and Manatee goes to bed. I've only woken him up once, which is hard to do because I stream with the door closed and he actually had gone ahead and put soundproofing on the door. And I was still too loud. Oops.
Oh no.
No, he understood. It was okay. Yeah, silverfish are... no thank you. I thought the silverfish heads were creepy, but nothing as creepy to me as the angry dog. An angry wolf creeps me out to no end. Because we came across one yesterday. It was killing all the sheep that we had found. And I just, nope. Not okay.
Yeah, the other thing is, and I know I've talked about this before on stream. I normally talk in a much higher register than my natural voice because it's quieter, but my normal voice is down around here. So if we were playing Among Us and I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm not the imposter, people would be like, Rex.
I love that.
Rex, did you just come off the Broadway stage? Because you're hitting the back row with those bass notes in your normal projection. I'm telling you, I saw Mahis kill this man. Picking on you, Mahis, because you're active in chat. But yeah, people have this interesting reaction when I talk down here more often. It's just like I'm not a small man, and this is what I sound like when I don't make an effort to sound like what I feel like. Kermit the Frog here. I am not the imposter. It was Piggy.
Oh, God. Hey, Toxic, thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate it so much, and I don't know why it keeps not pinging, but I'm gonna make it ping for you.
Hey, Rex, are you busy next Thursday night at 9 p.m. Central? My normal stream time?
What do you need?
Well, I'm going to be doing that Blabble Royale thing, I think.
Oh.
So if you wanted to try the game out before then, and... Okay, also I'm realizing you guys did not set me up. You guys took everything I needed there. It's fine. No, I still got the diagonal and the 2. Okay, never mind. But yeah, I was going to say NJ and Rex... and also anybody else watching, like Kindless and Mahis. I think I'm going to do Blabble Royale next Thursday night as like a community game night thing. The thing is, you can't technically like squad up. If you click play at the same time though, because there's only probably a few hundred people playing, you'll probably get stuck at the same lobby, you know?
Okay.
So yeah, if you guys wanted to join for that. Because I was just thinking like, man, Rex has a great voice. Well, and what I mean is like, not just like not just in the game, but like maybe we could, because like I have so much fun hanging out with you guys and doing this Sagrada thing in the mornings.
Yeah.
Like the 3 of us could be on voice together. We wouldn't have the whole community on voice, but that could be fun.
That would be great. Yeah,
I want to do more social stuff as we get close to Christmas, because I feel like a lot of people are either going to be busy doing Christmas stuff, or they're going to feel really isolated. And if you guys are busy doing Christmas stuff the day before Christmas Eve, that's 100% okay. I won't feel like y'all are... But, you know, like if I'm on Hermitcraft, people are going to be like, oh, you know, I don't want to miss Joe's Hermitcraft show, whatever. The people who do have time... Like, I get complaints from people. It's like, I can't believe you're doing this so close to the holidays. I have to spend time with my family, right? But, like... And it's like, well, look, you know, you're lucky. Some people don't have a family. Like, you know, but it's not my job to teach them to be grateful, you know, whatever, it's fine. But I forget where I was going with. I might not have been going anywhere with any.
I don't have any plans that night that I can think of at the moment, and I'll be pretty sure I'm off on Friday. So, since I'm on Eastern time, that should not be a problem.
Well, and even if you only could join for the first hour, or if your work is like you do have to come in, and you're like, I can only hang out for an hour, like I'd be glad to have you for an hour, Rex.
I work from home, so it's not it's not like I have a tough commute or anything. Yeah, I should be able to do that. Just ping me in Discord to remind me, and I'll throw it in my calendar and everything. And I just downloaded Babel Royale, so it is free to play, or Babel Royale rather. It is free to play. So
that's so cool. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah,
Look at this. I'm getting stuff done, NJ.
Yay, go you.
Yay.
I'm proud. Get that stuff done. Yeah, it should be okay. Thursday, I actually have a half day of work because it's going to be our Christmas party because so many of us take the following week off, myself included. So the 23rd is actually going to be my last day of work for the year, and I am very excited about it.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. We're going to take, we're taking a staycation because normally that week between Christmas and New Year's, we travel for our fraternity. And so we had planned to go to Phoenix because that's where the convention was going to be. And we were in the middle of hopefully making arrangements to meet up with Impulse Skiz, Tango, and Mrs. Tango, hopefully. And that completely went sideways when the convention's like, yeah, so we're going to stay virtual. Which is fine. They made the right decision. And we'll eventually get to Arizona at some point. So looking at the schedule, I found out that there are 1 or 2 events that I can attend because a lot of it is for our delegates, our students and stuff. But there's usually some alumni-focused stuff sprinkled in between. And so that's kind of what we're a little bit focused on as I look at this and these things, and I'm just like, I'm looking at my board right now, and I'm not liking it all that much. Not gonna lie. I think I'll go here and let you all have some fun with it. But yeah, so there's one thing I can attend on Monday, which is why I can't make the petitions because it's at the same time.
Oh wait, is my petitions? Oh, that's Monday the 27th.
Monday the 27th, yes.
I was gonna say Monday, like tomorrow Monday, I have Cleo Craft stream. Okay, I was about to freak out for a minute. Thank you.
Monday the 27th, because I was talking about the week between Christmas and New Year's. But other than that, we're having a staycation. We're gonna do stuff around the house and like really do a lot of the things that we don't normally get to do. So I'm excited for it. It's a break we both really need.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping to get down to Huntsville in January to take my daughter to the Space and Rocket Center because that was kind of one of those post-COVID plans. But like with Omicron popping up and with just like kind of she's got a bunch of like community stuff that's gonna be like there's like a bunch of outdoor community stuff in January that I wasn't expecting on the calendar. So it's like, well, this weekend we have this weekend we have that. So it's like, well, yeah, we're probably because like she'd be disappointed if she missed any of those events. So it's like, well, we'll schedule that some other time. But
yeah, I understand that. So why don't I do that in the hopes of doing something productive? I'm worried about these blues. But yeah, I'm thinking about January as well. I mean, obviously I want to enjoy Christmas and New Year's. Do either of you have New Year's plans yet, or?
Yeah, my friends do a big New Year's thing. That's a bunch of folks all come into Nashville, and that's like there's kind of 2 or 3 big times a year that we all hang out usually. New Year's, Tennessee game days, and Play on Con. And yeah, so this year we missed New Year's last year, and a lot of folks didn't come to Tennessee game days or Play on Con this time because of COVID. So this will be the first time a lot of us are getting together in a while. I'm looking forward to it.
That's really exciting. I'm glad to hear that. What about you, Rex? What do you have planned?
I don't have any plans for New Year's. It's usually a night where I stay home anyway because of people being foolish and driving when they shouldn't. And it's usually a day when I just watch a ton of movies. Just load up on snacks and do a movie marathon of some stripe or description.
Not bad. I don't know what we're doing for New Year's. Our friends invited us over.
Just interrupt.
Yes?
I could really use that blue 5.
I'm not taking it.
Dang it! That's like the only real play for me. But you know what? I can do the blue 3. It's fine.
Okay. Just because it lets me complete that particular diagonal.
That's a beautiful diagonal you have going on right now.
Well, thank you. I made it myself.
I realize I botched my bottom row, but it's fine.
Yeah, I messed up putting that blue 5 and red 5 on the same row, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Your diagonals, though, are good.
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying, I interrupted what you do for New Year's, NJ.
Oh, our friends invited, my friends invited us over, because they know that New Year's for me is a really hard time of year. And I was actually just talking to a good friend of mine Friday, and we're gonna set up this arrangement where she'll pick me up from work like once a week, just so that she has additional human interaction, because she hasn't been able to do a lot of the things that she's wanted to do because people are being kind of not wanting to get together. But as humans, we kind of need that little bit of social interaction, and that was evident at PAX. And so I said, if you want to get together and we're off this week. If you want to stop by, you're more than welcome to, because she knows we're vaccinated, we're boosted and everything. And you and I, Rex, we still have to figure out how to get together, because you don't live that far away from me.
No, I don't, and we do. Boy, I find myself in a pickle.
And what a beautiful pickle jar that is.
It's a pickle with a pickle inside of it, as I channel my inner Benoit Blanc. I'm just going to guess from here on out. Vid, take it easy.
Oh, bye, Vid. Just get it done, Toxic. Just pack and get it done. Alright, what do I need right now? I'm going to start there. The lack of ones and blues, really disconcerting. Not gonna lie. I'm struggling a little bit here. I hogged a lot of the blues. Oh dear. See, that requires me to move 2, but where am I gonna move the other one? Because there's nowhere for it to really go. Unless I do that. So if I move... No, I can't. This is... Okay, I see. So that's green, that's 4, that's green. Okay, so I can't do that. And I can't do that either. What the heck can I do? I am in quite the pickle. Oh, hi, Paleo. Thank you for the biddies. Oh, apparently it's having me accept when people give bits and stuff. Why is it doing that? Skip alerts. Thank you. What the heck? Whatever. I'm switching over anyway at some point.
Are you on Streamlabs OBS now? Okay.
I'm switching over to Stream Elements, but I haven't had too much time to finish making the transition, and so I don't know what's working and what's not.
Does anyone need anything before Joe, do you need any of these dice?
I don't know, man. Sorry, I just got off the phone with my dad, who has like a terrible cell phone connection wherever he is, and so like, you just do what you need to do, and then I'll scramble. It's fine.
Thank you for the dance break, Kindless. I'm moving very gently so I don't hurt my back. Ever since I gave my spine whiplash, it hasn't been the same.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I do not recommend that.
Yeah, I've never had whiplash, but I've done enough things to this old body over the years that, yeah, old injuries are awful.
Mm-hmm.
Can't use that 2. Can't use that 4. Cannot use the 6s. Green 6. Green 6. Does anybody need the green 6?
Hold on.
Anyone want this last piece of green 6?
I have no room for it, but thank you anyway.
Joe?
Whatever.
We broke Joe.
We did.
No, I just don't have. I'm like unfocused. Sorry.
It's
No,
okay.
you're fine. You're fine.
I'm like, I can focus when it's my turn, but having to focus on other people's turns too. What?
Well, I don't know how you play. Like I look at the dice that come down and look at what I need, and it's like, okay, if they don't take this, I can do that, that, and that. If this is still here, I can take that, that, and that. Differing play styles.
Oh, hold on. I'm trying to do my thing, and it's not letting me. I can scoot that over. Oh, no, wait. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to...
Hey, Joe, Mahi's had a question for you about the XLR thing Impulse has. They say it's something you could use with all the audio mixing for pinball and stuff.
Yeah, I did get one of those for pinball.
Oh, okay.
And stuff.
What is the XLR thing?
Well, it's short for 10 later. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
L in Roman is actually a 50, so it's actually a 40R. So basically, it lets you plug in fancy audio equipment, like high-end stuff. And so, like, I've got some nicer mics that I'm not using for my streaming setup now. Or I'm not using it for my desktop streaming setup, but for like the pinball and the craft streams, anything where I'd have multiple people in the room, I can kind of point the mics at different zones and exclude other sounds. And that's super important for the pinball machine, because you don't want the pinball machine sounds just filling the room, right? Because pinball machines are loud. Okay. So yeah, what do I want to do here? Okay. not a lot of great options. I think I'm gonna have to roll the dice with the flux remover. So let's get rid of that and see what we get.
Fingers crossed.
You can't place the die. You must return it to the pool. Nope. Well, no, I don't have a Go XLR in particular, but I have an XLR USB interface that I'm using for my laptop when I do stuff in the area with the pinball machine and the dining room table, so I can do craft stuff.
Yeah, I've seen like XLR mixer / amps for
Dang
streaming.
It.
Yeah, in the long term, using that for my day-to-day recording and streaming would be good, except that I don't want to have to unplug everything and move it to the other room with the crafting table and the pinball machine all the time. So right now, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to decide if I like it enough that it's worth buying more of these. Because honestly, if you're dependent on anything professionally, you probably need 2 of them regardless, just in case one breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes some of my fellow hermit crafters have had incidents where they're like, oh, I had a problem with my graphics card, so I can't stream today. And it's like, they're at a point in their careers where they can afford to skip days, but I'm not. It's better for me to have a second computer capable of streaming, even if it's not as good. You know, it might be, hey, we're going to do a 720p 30 frames a second stream tonight instead of a 1080p 60 stream, but like not streaming because of a technical problem isn't really an option, you know, especially because a lot of times it's not just one night that you're out for something like that. It's I'm waiting 2 weeks for the part to get here, you know. And so if I do decide that I like it enough, I'll basically probably end up buying a second one. One to keep in the crafting / pinball area, and one to replace my current USB mic setup up here.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like then one of the other advantages of that is then you have one that you can take on the road with you and not be stressed out the whole trip. Like, oh, if this breaks when I get home, I can't work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's really scary.
Yeah, it's redundant systems when it's your career are vital. And I was watching a D&D stream, and the person who was running a part of the show, because they have multiple people like backups and redundancies and they're doing stuff. When the guy came back up, he said, sorry, I was gone. My video capture card died. My second video capture card would not initiate, and that's why I have 3. And he did this in like 6 minutes. And I'm like, that man is a professional.
Well, and this is a big part of why, you know, I really think it's important to have a portable streaming rig as well as a desktop one, because the portable one, in theory, I could stream on location from conventions and stuff, yeah. But like, if my desktop dies, I can fall back on the laptop for a week, you know. And it's not ideal, but it's doable, you know. And but yeah, I'm just right now moving the XLR stuff between rooms, because like wiring everything for the pinball machine, it's all wrapped around tripods that are set up certain ways. Like I need to buy twice as many cables anyway. I need to do a whole bunch of stuff. It's not it's not easily broken down and set up again. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of a bad one for me. I guess.
Yeah, this one hurts a little bit. It hurts just a little bit.
And I'm done. Is the pinball machine on the same level as your streaming room with your crafting table and your setup?
This apartment is a mess. Not a.
I understand that, but I'm just
But basically, it would be very difficult to move things between the two.
okay. Well, I was thinking about those like kitchen carts that they sell. If you could like get everything on that and then just roll it, but if you have to like take
Well,
it down a flight of stairs or up a ladder or through a portal, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, I'm talking about 6-foot tripods with boom arms, though. So it's not like you can just put that on a cart. You gotta break it, like getting things through doorways that are that big, like the tripod legs. You know, I mean, yeah, they're designed to fold up and travel, but like I don't want to do that twice a day.
No, not at all.
Like it would just kill my energy for actually streaming. And if I like, it's cheaper to buy a second one than it would be to pay someone minimum wage to move these things for me.
Yeah, I was just thinking you'd have to have like a full-time roadie.
Yeah, and like there's a reason that musicians do have roadies, because you want to save your energy for the art. And that, so yeah.
Nicely done, Joe.
Well done, Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah, that game was rough. And it just got rougher as it progressed.
My saving grace were those blue diagonals, really.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I refresh my drink real quick? I'll be back in like 3 minutes.
That is actually... I'm glad you said that, because I wanted to take a quick health and safety break. I need to go get more water and step out for a sec.
That sounds awesome.
Be back shortly.
So everybody, go refresh your beverages. We'll be back in a few minutes.
You know, hey,
We're
NJ.
back. Hello.
So,
Thank you for that well-timed health and safety break.
I mean, the game was going to end when the game was going to end.
True.
one of the things the YouTube algorithm fed me was the Charismatic Voice, which is an opera singer who reviews singers doing different songs, and I really dig it because while I'm not a great singer, I appreciate the art, and having someone who's really digs it talking about it is cool. And that in turn led me to this guy, Jeff Castellucci, I think his name is. He's a bass singer.
Mm-hmm.
And he just hits these notes that literally make my subwoofer rattle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's really cool to see. He did a version of Under the Misty Mountains from Tolkien.
Mm-hmm.
And he sings all 4 parts. And it's just amazing seeing how he can, he can be singing and then just and like go lower than that. He's doing subharmonics, I think it's called. And it's just wild. I'm jealous. Because like I can hit the baritone stuff, but he goes so incredibly low and without breaking like I just did. At the same time, he is a professional singer and has been for his career.
Yeah, it's funny how practice pays off.
Who'd have thought? I thought you were just born with the talent, and one day an old man told you that you were the chosen one and you could just do this stuff. But no, you have to practice and get good.
Imagine that.
This is nonsense, and I did not subscribe to this newsletter.
All right, so what are our tools? We have Flux Remover again. We had that last game. Draft a die, then swap it for a new die from the supply. We have Flux Brush again. Draft a die, then re-roll it. But now we have Eglome's Brush. This would have come in handy last game. Thanks a lot, game. Move any one die in your window, ignoring color restrictions on your window pattern. You must obey all other placement and adjacency restrictions. Oh, hey, look. The game's being nice to us, allegedly.
Why? No, go outside, turn around 3 times and spit.
I said allegedly.
It doesn't hear the effector at the end of the sentence. You know this.
Allegedly. Color variety, sets of 1 of each color anywhere. Color diagonals again, count of diagonally adjacent same color dice. And column shade variety, columns with no repeated values. So, yay? How much trouble do you think we're going to be in?
We are so boned. This is gonna suck.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna go over here and you're gonna like it, and that's it. That's final. Mahis says that he says, I think I watched 30 different reacts to Disturbed's cover of Sound of Silence when the pandemic first started, the lockdowns. I've seen the best reaction video I've seen is this one voice singer reacting to Tool performing Sober live. And her jaw was on the floor.
Does she have like red hair?
I think so, yeah.
That's
the
Charismatic Voice. She has another one where she does Judas Priest's Painkiller.
Ooh.
And her face at the end of that is hilarious and priceless. I just love her reaction videos because she's so positive and excited about it. And he's doing this thing with his. Whereas, okay, so what's happening is his vocal folds are, and then she's explaining the technical parts of it, and she like has performed all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
She's like big deal opera lady. And I love how into it she gets, because she's talking about the artistry of the songs, and in a lot of cases it's stuff I personally like. So when she's doing Tool or whatever, it's just so cool to see, because it's like, yeah, there's actual musicianship that goes into knuckle air quotes knuckle dragger music, and
Mm-hmm.
people can't see past the veneer to see the craftsmanship.
Didn't she do one? Didn't she make a video for Pantera's Cemetery Gates?
Yes.
Ah, I think I saw that one. I think the look on her face when he hits that high note towards the end.
Yep. Yeah, she has the best reactions to people doing stuff, when they do something that's really technically difficult, like when he holds that 10 or 13-second note at the end of Painkiller. She's just like
Yes.
jaw on the floor.
I love seeing musicians appreciate each other's work, especially if it's outside of the normal genre that they are familiar with.
100%.
Okay, what did you give me here? Nothing I can use really, but we're going by column. I really want to work on these diagonals, so I think I'm going to do that first. Let's do that. I can't get down there yet, but I can do that. Or do I want to?
Yeah, her name's Elizabeth Zaroff, and her channel is called The Charismatic Voice. I'm not going to put a link in, but I'm just going to put the...
Oh, you're welcome to. You have the ability to. If you
Okay.
have it, go for it.
All right. I don't want to... I don't want to cause any trouble.
No, you're fine. I'm giving you permission. You're good.
Okay.
Oh, she did one for Sound of Silence too. I need to watch that.
Oh yeah.
It really is different. That one and Land of Confusion, I think, are my two favorite covers. Two of my favorite covers overall. I think Land of Confusion is my favorite cover. Just because it's not something you'd expect.
Nope.
And I got to see Disturbed perform live at Ozfest, and that was a trip.
They are playing this May at a open air concert, and my friend grabbed tickets.
Nice.
Living Color's playing, a couple others as well.
Ooh,
and
Living Color.
Yeah, I think I've told the story of the first time I heard Cult of Personality. I sat up like a prairie dog and looked around. What is that sound?
Mm-hmm.
Just an opening lick. And just an incredibly talented band.
Indeed. What is it? AEW secured the rights to Cult of Personality for CM Punk when he came back to wrestling. Nice. And so being a fan of his and listening to that opening riff, just I didn't get to watch it live because we don't watch AEW regularly, but Manatee recorded it for me, and just watching him come out after 7 years and listening to that opening riff and knowing what it means was just a holy crap kind of moment. Not gonna lie. But that's how good wrestling themes can be, and I think people underrate them.
Well, it triggers a conditioned response, because when you hear the music, if you're a fan, whether you dislike them because they're a heel, because whether you dislike them or like them, it triggers a reaction about that character approaching, that wrestler approaching, and it's the bell of the Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh no.
This is when you know you're in trouble, when you hear
Yes.
that.
Everything was going great until, bong, either this is a Taco Bell delivery or I'm about to get torn up.
Did you really just compare the Undertaker's gong to Taco Bell?
The Taco Bell bell, yes, that they play at the end of every commercial. The Taco Bell bell is admittedly a different note and a different tone, but
I'm giving you the look right now.
I just think it would be funny if a guy rushed the ring with a DoorDash guy rushed the ring with the Taco Bell bag when that bell sounded just once.
I'm gonna play this because I gotta finish that blue line. Oh, so we ended up when after the Hack Inc. show on Saturday night, we got to meet Austin Creed afterwards.
Nice.
And it was one of those things where, okay, so we were able to meet, or at least I was able to meet a bunch of people, but the two of us were able to meet Creed. Manatee couldn't make the Hack Inc. show because he accidentally double booked himself for an event that he really wanted to go to. Hi, Sir Schaefer, welcome in. And Kep, I did see you earlier. Hello. So he met up with us after, and after the show was over, there were a couple of us hanging around, like that girl with honey, and I think Brosephine was around and stuff like that. That's okay, Sir Schaefer. I hope she's having fun. And I'm gonna place this one right here and finish off my blue. But yeah, so when they came out after, they chatted with a couple of us as they were walking out, and I had said to him, "Well, we have something for you." And he stopped in his tracks. He's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, we do." And Manatee was the one who had the stuff that we brought with us. And so when I texted him saying, "Hey, the show is pretty much over. Why don't you come on over and meet us?" He grabbed all of it and scooted on over. Like he raced back to the room and everything. And so we were able to talk to him for a few minutes, and we gave him this stuff and we explained what it was because he had never seen it before. And he thought it was really cool. I didn't get any pictures. I didn't get any pictures or anything because I didn't want us to take up too much of his time. But our friends who were with us did. They were actually featured on I think Penny Arcade's Twitter. Like there was a picture of them meeting him 2 years ago, and so there's this thing now where they have the picture. They not only have the picture of them meeting him, but they have the picture of someone who took a picture of them having their picture taken. And so they printed out the pictures to have Austin sign them. And so he was cracking up so hard over it. And they were there again taking pictures. And he said, "Yeah, now I need this on a t-shirt." So next year when we go, they have to bring him a t-shirt with him signing the stuff signing the picture of the picture being taken. Or something like that. It made my head spin a little bit. But I was like, okay, that's gonna be a thing. That's fine. Which way do I want to go? Do I want to go this way or do I want to go that way? You know what? I've got a nice diagonal going here, so I'm gonna go that way.
Be a real shame if anything happened to it.
Yeah, exactly. But that was really nice. He was very sweet.
That's awesome. It's just the best when you meet someone that you enjoy their work,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, and it turns out they're just good people.
Mm-hmm.
That's just wonderful. I'm so glad for you.
Yeah, it was cute to watch Manatee fanboy a little bit. He never does that.
I was thrilled because the only digital painting I've done of any of the C team um, ended up projected behind them during the Q&A panel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did a picture of Cathris,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Nice.
based off a picture of Vincent Price, oddly enough, um, that I used for the facial pose,
Mm-hmm.
and it ended up projected, and I was like, "Holy crap, that's me!"
Hey, look at you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So
Okay.
I tried to do them all, but
Hey, Alice.
I need to develop my talent.
I think I can get away putting that here. Yeah,
Joe,
I
were
can.
you able to get to any of the panels or meet up with anyone while you were at PAX?
I could meet up with people outside the convention, but because my kid wasn't able to get her second shot in time, we couldn't actually go to anything.
Oh,
So I only got to go into the convention for like 40 minutes in the last hour of the last day. Just as a quick, like, let me run in and see if I can find a Christmas gift. Spoiler alert, all of the board games that I had like known about in advance and wanted to pick up for her, they were sold out of by that point. And I didn't have time to demo. Like, I saw a few things where I'm like, that might be good, but it might also not. Like, kind of, because you can kind of tell,
yeah.
with stuff like, okay, like some stuff is obviously going to work, and some stuff you're like, oh, I'd have to play that, but I don't have 10 minutes to play that right now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You were speed running the convention.
yeah, essentially.
If that, if something like that happens where you're delayed again, give us a list.
Well, but the thing is, though, I didn't like the things that I was considering getting for her weren't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily things that I was like, oh, I absolutely know I want this.
Ah,
I
I
was like, I'll
see.
see what's there, and if there's nothing there, I'll get this,
I
right?
see.
And so, like, what I'm saying is that entire kind of fallback list was depleted, so
I
I
see.
couldn't even fall back. Although I did get some miniature painting stuff from one of the mini painting booths, like a thing that you clip you attach your minis to while you're working on them to move them around and hold them better and paint
Oh,
them.
the little base thing that you can like clamp the base to so you can
Yeah,
handle it. Oh, those are great.
Oh,
I've seen a
yeah.
couple different versions. What kind is it, like a standalone thing? Do you like screw it on top of a Gatorade bottle? What kind
It's
did you get?
you use a soda bottle cap, but
Yeah.
yeah. It's also chroma green.
Of course it is.
of
Look,
course.
I have Verdi in my handle, and you are more green than I am.
Yeah.
That's true. That. See that
That would be Rex Veritas and Jake. Verdi
um,
is green.
yes, I know. But that actually makes me very happy because that was one of the booths that I had explicitly told Badger about.
Yeah, no, that
And I
was
told you
I
about
went
it too.
I went and sought it out for that reason.
Okay, good.
It was appreciated, so thank you.
You're very welcome. Because I felt bad because I realized I did not get a card of their company, so I couldn't refer back to them. And I know that you were on a limited schedule, so you probably didn't get to see the Camp Sacagawea booth that we saw. Let me tell you, that was a shock.
Wait, was this based on the Addams Family Camp Sacagawea?
No, actually. Camp Sacagawea is, or at least was, when I was a kid, a Girl Scout camp. And that was a Girl Scout camp that I went to every fall. Like, when I was a kid, I knew that camp inside and out because I had basically hiked the entire thing from one end to the other. And so, when I saw it there, I kind of did a double take because I'm going, wait a minute, this is the Girl Scout camp. So I went up to them and I talked to them about it, and they said, yeah, we bought it, and now it's a wedding venue, and you can have other events here. And I'm just going, what? I'm sorry, what? It took me a really good, solid minute to register that the Girl Scout camp was no longer the Girl Scout camp.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they just bought the whole thing and now they're doing whatever they want. Like, that's really cool. It would be so neat to have, like, I don't want to say a compound because that sounds very David Koresh, but
a little
like
bit, yes.
to own like an event space like that to use
Mhm.
as my streaming headquarters and be able to say like, hey, we're gonna have events throughout the year and we're gonna like, you know, just do stuff like that would be so cool. But like obviously it's not financially worth it.
No.
Otherwise Penny Arcade would own their own convention center, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they
Like,
definitely would.
you either are in the events industry or you're in a different industry. You don't usually double up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I say that, but like there's a guy who is a real jerk, so I won't mention him by name, but he has a radio show where he talks about money, and he does have like a campus outside of town where they do have like seminars and stuff. But
Interesting. Okay.
like that's like having a theater is a lot different from having like I have a hotel, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, which a campground is basically gonna be like if they're using it as a wedding venue, they're probably having people stay there overnight. You're right.
Oh yeah.
It's the hospitality industry versus I've got a lecture hall, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been interesting because I've seen there's a comedian, Steve Hostetler, who bought a church in, I want to say Pittsburgh, that he's turning into a comedy club.
Mm-hmm.
John Scalzi is doing some community projects. He's a sci-fi writer. He just bought a church. So this is happening on a somewhat smaller scale, but I could see a summer camp getting converted to an event space and like an actual PAX camp, you know, where it's hey, for month of June it's PAX camp. Come game. We've got projectors out on the lake so you can float and play multiplayer games with your friends, or movie night, LARPing, all kinds of stuff. Jerry, call me. No. Similar to the event space that you go to in Tennessee, Joe.
Mm-hmm. Well, down here, Ray Stevens just bought his own lounge. He calls it Cabaret, so he has a place to perform every night.
That's clever, I guess.
I mean, it's not the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm so sick of touring. There's a ton of tourists through here, and yeah, I get it.
I understand that, I guess.
I mean, people did that and oh, come.
Ugh. Oof.
Yeah.
Do not like, do not want. Yeah, I guess I could do that. That's fine. As it gets a little harder.
At round 10, quiet when I'm taking my turn.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, did my internet cut out?
No.
No.
All CPU cycles are being applied to
Okay,
cognition.
that finishes my board off. I think we're just super focused, like always.
Oh, when you have a moment after the stream, probably, NJ,
Mhm.
I posted both the Undertaker bell sound and the Taco Bell bong, and
I will definitely check those out.
I make the argument that the Undertaker's bell is the Taco Bell bong after its voice changed. I said what I said.
Hey, Six Hill. Welcome in.
Hey, I'm in the lead with 0. Oh, shit.
Oh, this is a close one. I'm holding my breath.
There goes Joe hitting the secondary boost.
I know, right?
And his third stage booster is engaged.
Oh my gosh!
He went to plaid, folks.
Destroyed.
Good game, everybody.
Very good game. Holy moly.
And, we're approaching noon here in Tennessee, so as much as I'd love to give you the chance to, come back from that, I unfortunately have to go make my kid lunch. But thank you so much for having me, NJ. And Rex, it's always a pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing you both 9 p.m. Central on Thursday to play some Babel Royale.
Sounds wonderful.
Likewise, Joe.
Can't wait.
Have a wonderful Sunday.
Alrighty, catch y'all later. Keep adventuring.
You too.
Wow.
We got destroyed.
Yeah.
We got wrecked.
If you add the difference between our scores to your score, you get Joe's score.
Oh my gosh. Not surprised though.
Well, it's that first game. I'm like, Joe's not awake yet.
Nope.
The caffeine is not kicked in.
Nope.
Is the only reason I've scored higher than him.
Nope.
And likewise, the same for NJ, because normally she and I are very, very close in score.
Yep. Yeah. That
was awesome.
It was.
That was awesome. And he's just super quiet during the game, And granted, we're talking about stuff outside of his interests for the most part, but he's just like do.
Yep. Silently
I'm over
plotting.
here doing my thing.
Yep. He's just like, yeah, well, I'm just gonna let them do that, and they're not even paying attention to me as I'm about to destroy them utterly. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, but it is nice. It's nice to have him, and
Always.
it's nice to have you, of course. We need to play
Thank
another
you.
game. I am. I'm time locked to about 1:55. Our time.
I'm good for one more game today.
Good.
And it has nothing to do with the humiliation that Joe just served me with. No, not at all.
Wonderful.
All right, joining game.
I will definitely, I definitely appreciate any amount of games either of you can join in for, without question or hesitation.
All right, I'm going to keep with my theme of playing 5 stars.
Let's see, what am I going to play?
Or pips or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to punish myself. It's fine. I'll play a 6er. All right, so what do we have? We have Grossing Pliers. Draft a die that increase or decrease its value by 1. However, 1 cannot be 6, nor 6 to 1. Glazing Hammer, reroll all the dice in the draft pool. This may only be used on your second turn before drafting. And Lens Cutter, draft a die, then swap it with a die from the round track. Lens Cutter's a personal favorite if it can be. Oh no. Oh no. Color diagonals, fine. Column color and column shade variety. So columns for bonus points can't have repeated colors or repeated values, where Mahi's just simply says rip.
Yeah, it's. I hate it when you get column color variety with diagonals because then you can't loop back.
Well, you could. It's just really hard to do.
Well, you do, but you're taking that hit.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble. Oh, we're in trouble.
Oh.
And I go
NJ.
first. Yes, my dear.
No, I'm just looking at your board, and with diagonals, it's cruelty.
This is what we call a hot mess. Listen, you, don't make me come over there. Don't make me come over there and kick your butt. Enjoy the lurk. Good to see you. I can try to make this work. I mean, the yellow's kind of potatoed, but it's fine. Unless I go this way. Although that doesn't help either, so no, that's not going to work. I think what I'll do is I'll put this here instead. And figure out my life choices later.
Well, it's a shame I put my 3D glasses in storage because I could really use them while looking at this window. Well, I can't do a red diagonal going from bottom row 2 across. Yeah, they really... You know that thing in anime where the character closes their eyes and shoots steam out their nose in frustration?
Mm-hmm.
It me.
Oh dear. Yeah, this is not going to be pretty.
Mahi's, I read that in Foghorn Leghorn's voice. Rip, I shall repeat. Rip.
Okay, you gave me that, so... Hi, Lacerte. Good morning, dear. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. Friendly reminder, we're going to be switching over to Minecraft as I make my debut for the first day of the MineBoggled SMP server. So we're going to milk the time that we have as much as we can while we're here. And what can I do with this? What can I do with this that we have here? Not very much. Okay, so I think I'll do that first, because I might as well get that green diagonal. Might as well milk that cow. And then I think I can start a yellow diagonal this way. So I'm gonna do that and go this way. Yeah, my diagonals are gonna be absolute garbage, but it's fine.
I'll work my way across the board.
Alright, what do we have here? We have a red 6. Okay, fine. Yellow 6. Sure. Yellow 2. I'll take that right away, because that'll come in handy. All the 6s are killing me, though, not gonna lie. My options for placing them are very limited. So thanks, Dice Gods. Thanks for the kick in the pants. Appreciate you.
I did not awaken myself from my crypt this morning to be treated thus.
Alright, I think I'm just gonna have to squeeze that puppy in that little spot and just be done with it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just do that.
Well,
I don't have much of a choice.
Sorry, on an earlier point, speaking of making shirts for people, B. Dave Walters, if you're familiar with D&D streams at all.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's just, he's a great player, game master, person, just wonderful person all around. He was interviewing Todd Kenrick, who used to work for D&D Beyond and has, been covering video game culture and gaming culture for years, and on his show Demiplaner. And you can ask questions. So I asked the question: would you describe your respective game playing styles as, for Todd, choose chaos, and for B. Dave, choose violence? And when can I buy the Wham style T-shirt or tank top that says "choose chaos," or "choose violence"?
Oh goodness!
So I need to go to like Teespring or something and make those, and just reach out to him and say, "Give me a business shipping address, and I'm sending you one each."
Oh,
I don't know what size you wear. Because I think Todd is 6'5" and B. Dave is like 6'9".
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's tall.
Yeah, I if I stand up very straight, and I'm like a little over 6'2".
Yeah.
So it's not often that I would be in a room with two people, should I ever be in the room with those two, that I would feel short.
Oh goodness.
But if there's two men who could make it happen, it's them.
Oh, absolutely. I think.
Oh wait, no.
I think
Sorry,
B. Dave was part of the panel that Cypher was doing for, I think, Rivals of Waterdeep on Friday night, and I had been looking forward to attending one of the panels that Cypher was part of the entire weekend. I did get to meet her. And she is wonderful. I adore her. I think she's totally sweet. And so I had hoped to attend one of the panels because a lot of what they talk about absolutely fascinates me, and it's very topical, and you walk away learning something from it, and it really opens your eyes to a lot of the different topics that they broach. And I could not make a single event because something always came up, and I was just going oof. The entire weekend I was just like, all right, what can I do here? This is the one that lets me do that. I could do that if I wanted to, but I can't do that, and I can't do that for that reason. So I think what I'll do is I'm not going to risk the reroll. I'm going to... I'm going to take you.
Where we go?
And switch you out for you. And go here. I could go here, but I don't want to yet. I think I've got something better planned for that. And if I have to move it, I will. Oh wait, I can't, but that's okay. I'll live. But yeah, so something came up every single time, and there was one panel on Sunday that I really, really, really wanted to go to about, I think it was about diversity or something like that. And I'm like, okay, I don't have anything going on and whatever. But at that point, I hadn't really eaten all day because, well, dirt me. So Manatee took me to go get cheesesteaks. And Reading Market on a Sunday afternoon, you would think wouldn't be so bad, but there were still a lot of Paxters around. So the line for the cheesesteak was a half hour long. It was a half hour long.
Hmm. That's rough.
It was okay. The cheesesteak could have been better. I prefer Tony Luke's personally. That's my own preference.
I've never spent like a day in Philly where I could grab a cheesesteak.
Really? I find that shocking.
Well, I don't. I'm going to go to a city. New York's right there.
Valid.
You know, Philly's a multi-hour drive because it's on the other end of the state for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had some friends who lived in Philly for a while, and I went down there. I think I've been down there once as an adult, and it was because it was my friend's going away party as he was moving to Paris. So it was like, yeah, I got to go, say my farewells. And we got there after the Ring of Honor show. We went to an Elizabeth that I've talked about before, which had Bryan Daniels and CM Punk and a bunch of other Samoa Joe.
Oh, nice.
It was a great show.
Oh no, no doubt about that.
I am not going to do great this game.
I don't think I am either. Let's just be frank about that. But I am going to do this to get somewhere.
I should have pulled the Costanza and just quit after I won. Thank you. Good night. Okay. If I pump that to a 5. Boop. But yeah, learning about diversity in gaming has been a big thing for me over the past little while because it's something I haven't really had to think about.
Yeah.
Because I am a cis white hetero dude. So, and it's made me think about, especially as I built out the campaign I've been running for, it'll be 3 years next month. Made me think about how I address things. And so, one of my players came across a half orc and was like, or an orc, and he was like, I don't trust this guy. And like, the guy's being completely normal. And he's like, why? The NPC's like, why? Because of the stories you've heard? I could tell you stories about the elves from our perspective.
Yeah.
I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer, and I take down the occasional wild game. It's been 100 years since my nation has done any aggressive action against anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So what you talking about? And he was like, oh, yeah. And just low key, not hammering my players with it, because there's a reason I've been playing with these people for so long.
Hey, Spider.
But it's just a way of rewriting the narrative that's always been there. And I think that's real important, because I want anyone to be able to jump into one of my games and not have concerns. I'll put it that way. Because that's not how I am. It's not how I was raised. And everyone's welcome at the table.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to make you... Congratulations, Green 2. You're getting a promotion.
Mm.
You've been doing a stellar job.
Okay.
But yeah, Cat Cypher has been great about pointing to resources so that, as has B. Dave and a ton of other people that I'm leaving out,
Mm-hmm.
and just drawing attention to things that I might not notice.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, and not in a helpful and educational way.
Mm-hmm. I sometimes I make a point when I have the time to sit in on Cypher's streams, but I haven't been able to sit and watch Rivals of Waterdeep just yet. I want to, I just haven't had the time. And I sponsored Into the Motherlands, and I'm really excited to be able to play that.
Oh,
I'm
I can't
really
wait.
looking forward to that.
I did as well, and I got at the time the big set that they were offering.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's just, I want to support this product, and I had a little dosh laying around that I could do that with. Really? We went from all purple to all.
Well, that leaves me out.
We went from Prince to the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yep, we did.
It's just another Tav cap.
And the dice are funky.
Yeah, and there is nothing in the dice track for me to use. Okay.
They are relentless.
Yeah, Sharif was on Trials of Mount Tiamat, which B. Dave ran, and was brilliant. It was great to see them. B. Dave just gets the best casts for his shows.
Indeed. He's been on G4 lately, too.
Yeah, he is the first person to run a campaign on live television. He is TV's it's another person. He is TV's B. Dave Walters, as he puts it. And he said, I can legitimately say that now.
Which is amazing and well deserved. I believe
I love it.
I believe that the Tiamat campaign, which by the way, GG, because that was a close game. I do believe that it was nominated for a bunch of TTRPG awards.
Really?
I've been seeing tweets with the nominees in them, and I know that a couple of things were nominated, and I believe I saw that among the nominees for several things, and I think even B. Davis nominated, but I'm not sure.
I know he won Most Evil GM last year.
He might be nominated for that again. I'm not sure.
I think he declined to be nominated this year to give someone else a chance, as he put it.
Oh, so he pulled the John Larroquette.
Yeah.
And you understand the reference.
Night Court was a staple of my TV watching when it was on.
Same with me. I love that show. They're
And
rebooting it, you know.
what's that?
They're rebooting it.
Ooh.
It's kind of like a sequel, not a sequel per se, but it's, you know, it's 20 something years in the future, and it's Harry Stone's daughter as the judge, and John Larroquette's back, and unfortunately, you know, Charles Robinson and Marky Post passed away, so they're obviously not going to be in it, but I do believe they were able to get most, if not the entire rest of the cast to come back. I'm not entirely sure. I know that John Larroquette is definitely part of it.
If I see John Larroquette's on a show, I'm going to watch it because he's picky about the roles he takes.
Mm-hmm.
I loved him on The Librarians. I loved him when he would show up on The West Wing.
Oh gosh, yes. I love The West Wing.
Yeah, and I love his voice because he's just, you know, he's just booming about things. And yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, and his comedic timing is just bar none.
It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect. And he can do serious dramatic stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
He was the narrator. Here's a bit of trivia. You probably knew this. He was the narrator for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre trailer, if I remember correctly.
No.
Yes.
No, he was not.
For the original movie, it was one of his first, because he was working in radio.
No, he was not. Is Brent Spiner going to be in it? Unknown. I would assume
it would be
no.
great. It would be great if he showed up a bunch of times as a litigant in Night Court, because he was a great character actor in that.
Oh, definitely. I could not agree more on that. And hi, Kate. Good to see you. Welcome in. But yeah, I need proof of this because I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
We are not playing Among Us.
No offense.
We're not playing Among Us, and I don't lie.
I think I need to hear it for myself and then watch my jaw hit the floor, which I have to carefully do because I don't want to break another braces bracket.
This is a link that purports to be it. I don't know if it's him being interviewed about
it. Please post that in the Discord so people can find it.
Okay.
Which, if you're not already, if anybody here isn't a part of the Discord, just hit !socials and that'll give you the Discord link. You feel free to join in.
Where would you like me to put it?
Good question. Where should you put it?
General?
I guess? Yeah, screw it. Put it in general. It'll be easier to find that way. So we learned something new today, everybody. Or at least I did. And if you already knew it, then kudos to you, because I had no clue. I need to watch that later and be mystified.
I heard him talk about it on the Kevin Pollak chat show.
I didn't know that Kevin Pollak had a chat show.
It was one of the first video podcasts. And he would sit down and do like 2-hour-long interviews with different celebrities. It was not a huge commercial success, but it ran for I think a year or two. And he talked to Nathan Fillion and just all kinds of people that he worked with over time. And it was like a Charlie Rose type, two people at a table chatting.
I see.
But there were some games in there from time to time as well. But it was largely him interviewing people he knew or had worked with or met. So it started off more relaxed and the people were more open. And he would go through the person's career. You know, tell me about growing up here. Tell me about the, you know, I see that this happened. You know, how did you get this role? Oh, well, you know, my agent said, oh, you got to do this thing. And I didn't want to do it. And then I went and they were like, oh my gosh, you're the perfect person. And I was like, really? He had a great interview with J.K. Simmons on that as well.
Oh, J.K. Simmons is a legend. By the way, you want to throw in one more game while we're talking?
I I can. I'm gonna play like a 3-star.
That's okay. We'll throw in one more. Alright, Sir Schaefer, have fun. Because I know us, we're going to talk for another 15 minutes. We can squeeze another game in while we do.
Okay. I have to...
Yeah,
I think I have to reopen Sagrada because I closed it.
Oh, no. Yeah, I love J.K. Simmons. I think he's great.
Yeah, he is a great actor. I think he got most of the cast of The West Wing over the course of it. I know he had... pretty sure he had Allison Janney on there as well. This game no longer exists. Could you look in the back, please?
Exactly. It's like, I know you have more in the back. Don't hide them.
You know what? I lied. I'm going to go out on a 6.
That's the spirit. I'm also going to go out on a 6, because... Okay, this is better! The tools are better!
that rising note at the end tells me that it is lying optimism in your voice.
No,
Hey,
I'm not almost done,
edge.
Kate. We're going to play Sagrada for another half hour, and then I'm going to switch over to Minecraft. So we have Corkback Straight Edge, which would have come in handy about 5 or 6 different times. Draft a die, then place it in a spot that is not adjacent to another die. You must obey all placement restrictions. Grinding Stone, draft a die, then flip it to its opposite side, 6 to 1, 5 to 2, 3 to 4, and vice versa. And then Flux Remover, draft a die, then swap it for a new die from the supply, choose a value, and place the new die, obeying all placement restrictions, or return it to the draft pool. Okay. Oh, hey, look, it's light shades and deep shades again. Pairs of 1 and 2, and 5 and 6. With rose shade variety sprinkled in between. We got this. We can do this. We got this. We can do this. Let's go.
Sorry, I forgot to confirm. Getting emails about a side project I'm working on.
Fun. Okay, I need to choose my die. And, wait, no, I'm trying to pick my thing. Thank you. Alright, there we go. Lisserte says that I would never lie. This isn't Among Us. Yeah, that's right. Oh, gosh. Where do I even go from here? This is a whole thing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go here and see what happens. That's fine. It's okay. It's okay.
I have 2 songs playing in my head right now. Some Guns N' Roses and some Motley Crue. Where did we go? Where did we go now? And Motley Crue with That's All Right, That's Okay. We're just 2 kids in love trying to find a way.
Good choices, good choices. I hate using something this early, but it's just... I need the flexibility.
Sure, now you give me the purples.
Hey, at least you got them.
Everything was going great, and then I came down with a case of the purples. I guess.
Alright, let's see. You like the game, Kate? Good, I'm glad. Alright, so rows can't have repeated values, so I'm gonna plunk that there for starters.
Also, hi, Kate. Sorry.
And yeah, I don't want to start moving stuff around until I have to. I think I can plunk a 3 over here. I think that'll be good, because it's rows, not columns this time. So I think that'll be alright. Oh, I will enjoy watching that later.
Don't know why I'm playing diagonals. There's no bonus to it.
Because it's force of habit?
Yeah.
Okay, get that yellow restriction out of the way. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay. Oh, you left me with some gems. That's fine. I will take that. Hey, Fed. The music right now is the game music. This is in the game itself, and it's on low so that Rex and I can chat freely without being drowned out by it. Okay. That blue doesn't work. That yellow does, though. I'll take that yellow. And I might as well take this one, because the red's not appealing to me at all right now. And I can't really put the blue. So last night we went over to my friend's house. She hosts Friendsgiving. We each host Friendsgiving each year, and we rotate to people's houses. So it was at my friend's house last night, and that's why I couldn't record nearly as much as I wanted to, because I had to accommodate for being over there, and that was fine. She made all this food. Like, Rex, let me tell you, she made so much food.
How much food did she make?
I know, right? Big ziti, mac and cheese from scratch, pasta with chicken and spinach, and salad. And she made this, like, Christmas tree shaped veggie plate that had cheese on it, and it had rosemary, and I couldn't eat any of the raw veggies because of my braces.
Well, it sounds like you had a great time.
We did. We did get together last year, but last year was obviously was a tough year for everyone involved. So so hold on, I'm gonna actually put that in the green spot because I need to fill the greens. So this year we kind of went a little ridiculous. Like, we really spoiled each other, because normally what we do is we get a little thing for ourselves and then spoil the kids left, right, and sideways. And we didn't do that this time. We just basically went all out and got each other stuff.
Okay.
And it was a whole thing. We just kind of looked at each other and went, "Did we really do this again?" and we just looked at each other like, uh-huh. It's just like, uh-huh, we did it again.
Oops, I did it again.
Pretty much.
I bought so much gifts.
Yes.
to
Oh my
give
gosh,
to
we
my
did.
spouse. Oh, baby, baby.
And
that's as much Britney Spears as I know, other than Toxic.
That's that's enough to not get me DMCA'd, so thank you.
Well, I'm very much out of tune and pitch.
No, you're fine. But yeah, it was nice. There are a few things better than being comfortable enough to, make sure that everybody's healthy and, doing the pre-stuff. My friend had me take a portable test, like a home test. Because she picked me up the other night,
Mm-hmm.
and she had me take a portable test before I could get in her car. Which was fine. And it's actually really simple. It's not as invasive as the tests that you get at the doctor's office when they have to shove the swab up your nose.
They test your spine through your nostril.
Exactly. You still have to get it up there, but you don't have to shove it nearly as far.
Mm-hmm.
They give you explicit directions on what to do. And so as we were waiting for the results, we're standing in my parking lot. And Hubs is texting me like, okay, do you have your results yet? Do I need to come get you? Because the plan was, if I tested negative, I was going to get in her car. We were going to go food shopping together, because that's usually what we like to do when we hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever. But if I tested positive, she was going to wait for Hubs to come pick me up so that I wouldn't be by myself. But she wasn't going to allow me in her car. And that is fair enough. Because I'm like, yeah, if I'm positive, I don't want you anywhere near me. I think I can do that. And all I need is a 2 for that. So that's not too bad. So that's fine. Stellar says that their dog's sitting right now. The couple they're working for provided all food for 12 days. Nice. What kind of dog are you watching? But I do have to tell you that it was really nice to be able to go and grab groceries, because we hadn't been able to go since we got back.
Yeah.
And wow, all the 2s don't fit. That's a thing. Oh dear. All right, let's put that there, I guess. Right? Or should I put it up here? Yeah, because then I can... Yeah, that's fine. I'll deal with it later. And I go again. I'll put you here, because I can. And go from there. And cry later when I can't find anything to fit. But yeah, we didn't get a chance to go to the store the entire week because I always had something going on after work. Like even today, with the recording and everything that's happening in a little while. After that, hi Fally, good to see you, dude. How are you? Hi Becky Bear, you ready? Everybody ready for today? Rows, not columns. Yep, that's right. I guess I can
clearly did not read the row brief.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Ouch. I hear that. I've been up since 8. I didn't want to be, but I was. And I'm over all the anxiety I had this morning. So yeah. Check this nonsense out, because this is how my brain works, Rex.
Lay it on me.
Okay. So, one of the things about me and how I play... Hi, Joancy. Good to see you. One of the things about how I play Minecraft is that I'm kind of... I'm kind of slow and take my time with things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What can I do with this? I know what I can do. I will use you, make you a 6, plunk you there. Done. So early game for me is very difficult because a lot of time, like when you're starting a server up, because people play at different times. And so if you're like me where you're, or like the both of us where we're on the East Coast and, you know, we have day jobs, being able to play is not as easy as it is for other people. And I only had an hour yesterday to record for the new season of Shamblecraft, which was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it was inherently difficult for me because oh, this is not going to be good because that's going to be a 3. Do I have another 2 I could move? I do not. Okay, because that would have been nice to have a blue 2. Green 2 could have gone in second from right. No, it couldn't have. I can use this at least because I can't take anything from the round track and there's no 2 there anyway. And you need a 4, which you're not going to... Well, you could have the yellow 4, so I'll let you have it. I'm going to see if I can get a 2 out of this. Nope. That's a negative. Bummer. Enjoy. But yeah, so early game for me is really, really tough. Because if other people are on a lot longer than I am, or they have more playtime, they're able to do a lot of things that I can't do right away. And so this happened to me last season, where people had netherite within the first week, because they were able to get into the nether and go digging. So this morning when I woke up, only having the hour, when I left the group, I was able to be with them long enough for us to find a spot for us to have our bases, like our starting area. And when I woke up this morning, I saw pictures that, you know, they built their starter home and they have a nether portal and all this other stuff. And I'm like, holy crap. So they had done hours and hours of work and I wasn't there for it. So I was like, So my anxiety kicked in, full blast. Nicely done, Rex. That was a really good game.
Thank you. I went hard on the high value 6s, and that's the only reason.
You did. Was purple your color? Yeah, purple was your color. Yeah. Yellow was mine, and I just wasn't getting anywhere with it. The yellows were not kind to me at all.
Well, I took one of the 6s and one of the 5s, so that didn't help you.
No, it didn't at all. I took the 1s, and I was like, it's fine. But yeah, so I had a panic attack this morning a little bit when I woke up.
Oh no.
No, it was fine because like when I get like that, like Sammy and Fally, and even Kay, they know that I get like that sometimes, especially when I feel overwhelmed. And so Fally was able to like walk me through what I could do and how to kind of feel like I could catch up, because I felt so far behind because I had missed out on so much. And I'm like, okay, well now I need to figure out what I'm going to do for my episode, because our first episodes are going to be launching over the next week and a half. And I'm like, okay, I need to figure out what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. So there's some farms and things I can work on. While we figure out where we're going to go for our bases and stuff. But it's like, I logged in this morning and I saw all of it. I was like, nope. I wasn't ready for this. And I logged right back out. I was like, nope, not ready. I'm weird because it was too much too soon. And so, like, in Joe's place, he actually has that I had requested. He actually has a special channel for his Patreon server where people can post updates of things that change, so that players like me who, are familiar with one thing and then come back and see everything change, they don't handle it well, because that's how their brain works. Like, their brain breaks because they can't recognize that everything's different. Where people can post updates like communal areas and other things that are starkly different, so that players don't have that kind of shock, you know?
Yeah.
And so bless my group, they actually sent me pictures and said, hey, or posted pictures in our group and sent me pictures separately of, okay, here's all the stuff that we've done and here's what we're up to, and like this is just to prep you, to brace yourself, because the other members of the group were able to play for several hours and you only had 60 minutes. Yeah, I know, Zero, I know. Dwancy says, in ISV, some people were getting elytras within the first few hours. Yeah, I know, and that drives me nuts. I don't like speedrunners. I think speedrunners, I mean, if that's their style of play, I get it, but you're not going to have any help from me about it, and honestly, I think if you're going to speedrun, go find somewhere else to play. Because if you have a large group of people where they want to take their time and they want to appreciate the early game and you just want to go through it and get all the fancy things right away, then you're going to have that culture clash. And, you know, when you're on a server where, you know, killing the dragon is a community-wide event and everyone's open to do it and this, that, and the other thing, you don't want to go in and not be a part of that group and then just go in and take the dragon out right away, because then you deprive the community of that opportunity and that makes you look like an absolute jerk. And you don't want to be the jerk, you know? So, you know, pay attention to the server that you're on and the rules that are set, and just, you know, and this is just a general rule. I'm not calling anybody out specifically, but, you know, just be considerate of your server mates and, you know, recognize that the way that you do things isn't necessarily the way the entire community does things. Becky Bear says, I'm happy we're the same in that since I'll be joining on later. I got anxious for being so late and behind. I'm scared at how much behind I'll actually be. Okay, so Becky, I got a solution for you, because I am slower than a turtle crawling through molasses. Would you like to team up with me and I'll just, like, go find us a spot and I'll just basically make sure we have food? Like, I won't even really build a structure or anything, because I don't want you to feel behind either, because I'm going to take my sweet time. I'm going to genuinely take my time and just chill out and just try to enjoy the ride. So I'm not against that idea, because you already have an idea of where you want to build. Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair. I have no idea where I want to build. I'm just going to end up being close enough to people that I can get to them easily, but far enough away that I'm just kind of left to my own devices, I think. I mean, Rex, you play Minecraft, right? Like,
Yeah,
you're
I was going to say, I had a similar experience on the Chris Craft server that Christopher Straub set up for his community, because they're like, oh, we're going to build the town from Brood Hollow.
Ooh.
And I was like, maybe I'll join. And I got in, and the town was almost done. And I was like, okay, how can I help you? Because I'm not that familiar with this particular IP, and what can I do? And it was like, oh, well, we can do this, we can do that. And then as time went on, there were refinements that were done, and like I added a sewer system under the town, and we built out. And some of this was streamed before on one of the packs, or one of the packs, as Chris took a tour of like the train that we built that went out to Red Larch, and how we had built all that out. And like, it's like, okay, I can add stuff outside of town or help people with what they're building and how they're thinking about it. But it was kind of that shock of, okay, you guys were talking about this 3 days ago, and I guess everyone has a lot of free time in the pandemic, because woof. And it was, and I'm not criticizing that they did so much so quickly. I don't mean to sound like that. It was just like, well, you're done. And then we found other stuff to do.
Yeah.
Which was wonderful. And so I'm patting myself on the back here, but I think you've seen some of it.
I have.
I built the AI airship. I helped people with stuff that they built. I don't know why, but I have an urge to dig tunnels. I think I may be part dwarf, because if you need a three by three wide by 3 high tunnel going somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
I'm your man. Um,
Get in there.
I will dig it out. I will line the walls. We don't use like World Edit or anything like that. It is creative though, so I will just go in there and happily get you from A to B underground.
Like, I think for me, I mean, everybody has a different style of playing, and I'm not going to begrudge someone for their style of play unless your play style is in a way impeding the enjoyment of the majority of those you're playing with.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making the experience less valuable for someone else, you're okay. So Stellar is dog sitting Aussie Doodles. That's lovely. I love dogs, so that tracks. And how my Jawanti's asking about how I'm feeling about the new season. I don't know yet, and I think it's because I'm not really. Fally, I just went on a mini tangent about how you helped me through my anxiety attack this morning, with seeing all of the stuff that was built up in my absence, and how speedrunning is great, but if you're on a server where people want to take their time and or that a lot of the big ticket stuff is a community project like the shopping district or killing the Ender Dragon for the first time and stuff, and you try to go ahead and do that without that community, then you need to go find another place to play. Because that's ridiculous.
It's the guy who goes into the chill club when a band is playing and tries to start a mosh pit.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't the place for that, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. And just that I felt really overwhelmed, and I logged in for about 30 seconds when I saw everything had changed and that I had missed out on so much, and that's just how I am, because regardless of how, hi Paleo, thank you for the biddies, Paleo. Like, one of my biggest weaknesses in terms of, well, it's not really a weakness because it's understanding what a trigger is, and I don't use that word lightly. Like, knowing what will have me have an immediate reaction, I guess I should say, or an immediate, like, uh-oh, we're not doing so good here, is feeling left behind. And that's something I'm actually working on in therapy, is that FOMO feeling. Jawansi just asked me about MineBoggled, and I don't know yet. Because I do have more time to play today than yesterday, because I only had 60 minutes yesterday, and that wasn't nearly enough time. I needed 3 hours, and I didn't have it. So I'm not sure what to expect. I was a little nervous because I didn't have the proximity chat installed yet, and I didn't know I needed it, but I got that taken care of. At least I think I did, but I'll find out more as the days progress, because if everyone has Elytra the first week and I haven't even seen the end yet, that's a problem. Or if people have Netherite the first week and I don't, that's a problem. Because that happened to me last season on Shamblecraft, where I couldn't join for like 2 weeks. And everyone had diamond armor or netherite armor, and I barely had iron because I had nowhere to go. I had nowhere to mine because I hadn't found my forever home yet. That was really frustrating, and that and it wasn't anybody's fault. That's just how I am. And I think for these seasons, for concurrent seasons, I really want to try to figure out how to do things for myself, because I feel like I had so much help that I didn't really do a lot of stuff on my own, which isn't a bad thing, but I need to start figuring out how to do some stuff on my own. And I don't know. Like, I want to be more in the community and I want to be more independent at the same time. So I'm kind of in this weird, like, in-between space. Have you ever felt like that, Rex?
Yes. Part of why I don't stream or, on a regular schedule or run my own media empire in any way, shape, or form is, by and large, I'm an introvert. I recharge by spending time alone, thinking, working on stuff. And when I have time and available energy, I'll try something new outside of my comfort zone. That said, the pressure I would put on myself to perform would crush me. So, helping out with Draw 4, jumping on Sagrada on a relaxing game on a Sunday, great. Among Us, that's fine. That's the level of comfort I have. And the need to keep up with others, again, and I know that is a very, very small tank I have to draw from for fuel. In my personal life, let alone in a performative life. So, when I do my D&D game for my friends, we don't record it. I'm not interested in producing a podcast. I'm not, because then I would feel the need to compete with, and I'm not saying I'm anywhere near the level, the people who are at the top of their game. If you like Mage, Michaela Sims just put out the first episode of what is going to be an amazing stream, and I hope they're able to put them all out there.
Yeah.
Because they're doing stuff with production, and it's a recorded stream that they then broadcast later. But they're doing things with video effects and cutting, and it's subtle, and it's done via Zoom. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Michaela, she is a technical producer at Twitch. So she gets to see what works and what doesn't and what people respond to, and was able to really tailor this stream as a showpiece for what can be done. And they knocked it out of the park. And
absolutely.
they got a gang of killers on there. B-Dave is one of the players. I know I've been talking about B-Dave a lot today, but dude's a star. He's at the top of his game, and he's on there.
So
among
it's
others.
Be good.
Yeah, Dreamwisp, Jennifer Kretschmer, who was on Heroes of the Plains and has done a ton of other stuff with Vampire and other World of Darkness games, is one of the players later on. Justice Armon, I think, is another one. I'm doing this from memory. And I would feel the urge to compete with that, and I can't.
Yep.
So that fear of missing out, that fear of I should have done more, that fear of I'm behind. I don't want to wrestle that dog.
I don't think anybody
or
does,
pig,
really.
or pig, if you will, because I know I'm just going to get muddy and kicked around, and so I get it. I totally get it, and that's why this has been a 10-minute message from Rex on mental health. But seriously, this is why I don't engage in that stuff. And people are like, oh, you should do it. It'll be great. And I'm like, it's great for you. It's the, don't, I love chocolate. Never give it to a dog.
Yeah.
It's poison
basically.
for me.
Yeah, I understand that.
But I get that fear of missing out. I get that, the anxiety that comes from that, because just talking about it, I'm sweating a little bit sitting here, very still in my chair as I wave my arms around as I talk.
Not gonna lie, I'm sweating too a little bit.
Yeah. So I, it's different for me, but I recognize, hear, understand, and empathize.
Yeah, I mean, it's also about knowing yourself and knowing what works for you and what doesn't, and being open and honest with the people that you're playing with. And thank you for the update, Stream Deck, which I will eventually use. if we can make words, can we make a word that is a person that is both introverted and extroverted? There is a word for that. It's called an ambivert. Just like ambidextrous is where you can write with or use both of your hands equally. Ambivert. Hold on, I'll put it in chat. Ambivert. Ambivert. Like ambidextrous. Ambivert. It's someone who is introverted and extroverted. I'm an ambivert. There are days where I need to have my space, but at the same time, I recharge by being with people. So, like last night, going to PAX definitely refilled my tanks. So that's a whole thing. I think I'll be fine in the long run. I think I will be now that at least the first day is over, and I know that there are things at least on the one server for me to do, and now I'm gonna go find out what there is for the next server, this second server, and I'm really excited about it, and I don't know what to expect, but I know that I'm gonna again be with a great group of people. I mean, Shamblecraft and MineBoggled are full of great people, and if you ever felt up to it, I would love to have you join us on Shamblecraft, even if you're just there to hang out and play. Like, it's not really a streaming server. We have a ton of people on it. If you ever felt up to it.
I will let you know.
No rush, no obligation. Jawancy says, "Dang it, you made me learn. How dare you?" And
I came here for shiny dice and cursing.
And I'm
now
all out of
educated.
shiny dice. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. Well, I should probably head over to the server. But Rex, you know I love and appreciate having you join in every week, and when the time is right, we will meet each other in person, and it's going to be amazing.
Yes, I look forward to it. Again, the hardest part of this quest is going to be finding a diner in our home state. I don't even know where to begin looking.
They're so few and far between.
Yeah. Yeah. For those of you outside of the great state of New Jersey, it is almost possible in some towns to throw a rock from one diner and hit another.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. 100% valid. 100% valid. All right. So,
all right.
I will
have a wonderful
another time.
Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you all for watching and commenting. And this is definitely a pleasurable part of my week. And hey, look, my extrovert tank is out of gas. I'm out.
All right, take it easy, Rex. Catch you later.
You as well. Have a wonderful week.
You too, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
All right, later.
Bye.
Bye. Okie dokie. So now, okay. Okay, I am... Alright, so what are we going to do? We're going to close Steam. We're going to open Minecraft. And we're going to close Sagrada. I'm going to wait till Minecraft loads, then I'll close Sagrada. We're going to quit Sagrada. I'm going to update the... stream info. Alright, there we go. Margaret Christmas, merry among friends. That's right. Aw, that's very sweet of you to say, Kate. Thank you. Okay. Alright, let's see how many people are in the chat. Alright, who's here? Wait, how am I the only one on the server? Okay. I'm on the... hold on. I'm in the wrong. I think I'm in the wrong SMP. So I am going to. All right. So I'm gonna put a be right back sign up so that you can't see what I'm working on. But I'm still here. I obviously missed something. Yep, I have the wrong server. I have the wrong server address. Boop boop boop. Boop boop. Boop boop boop. Boop boop. Yeah, I had the wrong server address. That was my bad. Okay, I'm here. Okay. Alright, I am gonna do that. Hi, everybody. Everybody looks so cool. Alright, so... yeah, this is MineBoggled. Whee! Discord. I'm going. Hold on. I'm getting there. Is this where I'm supposed to be? Is this where I'm supposed to be?
Yeah, here, 1 second, I'm gonna mute everybody else.
Hi, Panda.
Hey, NJ. So, do you have voice mod, uploaded?
I installed it. I put it in the folder, but I don't know what to do with it otherwise.
Have you ever had Fabric before?
Nope. Wait,
Nope.
maybe? I don't know. I've used paper, I think. I don't know. I'm a noob when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Oh, it's alright, it's alright. So, let me see if I can pull this from my folder.
Alright, let me open my folders. Is it something where I have to go in the game, like...
So, you'll have to close the game out for a second, but it's only so you can upload Fabric. Because you have to upload the Fabric API, and then it will work.
I don't know what that means.
It's alright. Let me get my folder open so I can find everything. Mods. I need to send you the Fabric loader.
Program files. Why can't I find Minecraft now? What the heck?
So you, in your search bar, do %app data, and then %.
%app data?
And then %.
Hold on, I don't understand.
Here, I'm gonna message you directly. That way you can get these.
Oh, okay. I found that.
We're frenemies. We're frenemies, right, Pi?
Hi, Hunter. I have the Fabric.
Hunter.
I have the Fabric in. It's under Program Files, Minecraft Launcher Game.
Okay.
Is that where it's supposed to be?
You need to get this, which is the Fabric installer.
The Fabric what? Okay. These are things I don't know.
Okay, so I just DM'd you.
Okay. Okay, so I'm opening it.
Yep.
So.
Once you open that,
just
Did I record or stream?
Just hit install.
Yep, you'll be able to click install. So it should.
Oh, I have
Minecraft
to close
version.
I have to close the game. Hold on.
Yep.
Fabric loader
Minecraft version
has been successfully
1.18.
installed. Many mods also require you to put Fabric API in the mods folder.
Correct. And then that's going to be the other thing that I'm going to give you.
Okay.
So this one I need to go to my app data so I can copy those over. App data.
Oh no.
Open.
Oh no, not nighttime. Not nighttime. I can't do nighttime.
Okay, so you did the installer. It said install for 1.18, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you're going to create a folder in the .minecraft folder.
So in the Minecraft launcher folder, I'm going to put a new folder.
Here, let me do this so you can see. Can I share my screen?
You should be able to. Cause yeah, I have the voice chat fabric in the Minecraft launcher game folder.
Okay.
Cause that's I think where I was told to put it.
Right, you have to put it in a mod folder.
Oh, I don't.
Why is my thing not sharing? Hold on.
I don't have a mod folder.
Oh, you don't have a mod folder?
No, I don't.
Okay, so can you see that?
Can I see what?
On the Discord? I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, I'm still looking at your DM, cause duh.
Why
Okay.
is there that much bone meal?
I don't know. Hold on. I'm looking for your screen. Hold on. I need to make this bigger so I can see it. Okay, so
it's in the .minecraft folder.
I don't know if
you're
I
just
have a
gonna create-
.minecraft folder. I only have Minecraft launcher.
It should be in your app data.
This is my app thing. It's, well, actually, wait, hold on. Oh, I have it under program files. I don't have Minecraft as an app.
Oh, okay.
I have it under program files.
Well, it should still be under app data.
Mm.
Because this is where all your save files and all that stuff is going to be saved.
I have that as, I have most of that under user, but I don't have Minecraft there. Minecraft is only in that one place I just told you.
Okay, so do me a favor, go into your search.
Yeah.
And then type in .minecraft. And then that should load it to wherever you have it saved to.
It just says Minecraft launcher, Minecraft installer, MSI, Minecraft.reg.ttf, which I don't understand what all this is.
Oh, you should be able to click. There should be one that has a
The
bunch
rain
of
in
folders.
Spain falls mainly on the flame.
So you should be able to click the one that is in a folder.
I just have Minecraft launcher and it opened the game.
Okay.
I can. I'm getting the recording thingy set up for OBS, and then I can.
Yeah, I don't have any of that. I just have the launcher, and then there's tools, which isn't helpful, but then game has like the percent pack and Java check and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think he said 230. How do we do the... Okay, I know how to do this.
I want to share my whole computer screen, not just a screen.
Yeah, I don't know where this is. Because that's the only place I see that it has Minecraft that's not my videos.
Right. Okay, there we go. So now I should be showing my whole screen.
Yeah.
So when you type in app data, right? So you can see this.
Oh, in that search screen. Okay, app data. Oh, percentage app. Okay.
So that's what it should look like.
Percent
app data %.
It sent me to a website. Hold on.
Yeah, you want to make sure you click the folder one, not the website one.
Oh, NJ, do you want all this in your stream? Because I just got a ping from somebody saying they can hear you talking about all the technical things in your stream.
Yeah, hold on. All right. You know what, everybody? I'm going to cut the stream short, and I'm going to be back in a little bit. So sit tight. I'll be back.